Okay.
Happy Monday, everybody. It is April 26th, and you're back with H&J Talk Sports, or you're here for the first time. But no matter what time it is, we're glad you're here. I'm your host, Joe Riggy. This other guy's Harry Baxter. Harry, what's going on?
Welcome back. Exciting week.
Very exciting week. The NFL Draft is this Thursday.
Yep. Kind of get the feeling football's coming back a little bit.
Coming back, which brings me to our first point. Before we get to this great Pens week that we had, Thursday, the NFL Draft, 8 p.m. Instagram, H&J Talk Sports. Me and Harry are hosting an Instagram live draft party over there, and we want you to join us. So grab your six-pack, your whiskey, your vodka, whatever you drink. Come over to H&J Talk Sports on Instagram and join us because we're going to stream the entire first round of the draft. And talk to us, get to know us, see our thoughts on everything, and it'll be a fun party.
Yeah, you can ask questions, anything.
We're going to call it Keep Harry Awake for 2 hours. So come join us for that. Thursday, H&J Talk Sports, at H&J Talk Sports on Instagram. Live draft party, 8 p.m. to the conclusion of the first round. Unless no one's there, then it'll probably end a lot sooner. But I have a feeling you guys will be there.
It should be fun.
Should be fun. But without further ado, since we're talking about the draft, let's start with some Steelers today since we don't have much to talk about. The only Steelers news this week, really, Justin Lane was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he got pulled over for speeding, maybe. He was going like 30 over or something. Found some weed. Then they found a gun. Now he's facing felony gun charges. My pencil fell.
Oh, well. Who?
That's what I said when I read the story. Huh? Who?
It's all right.
Is it? Does it affect?
He got a short leash.
All?
He's got a short leash, so that could be it.
I think that is it.
But there is some big Steeler news. The Steelers gave Mike Tomlin a 3-year contract extension through 2024.
A lot of coach contract extensions this week. We'll talk about another one later. Neil Brown. Mike Tomlin back for 3 years. So I guess.
So how do we feel?
I'm up and down on Tomlin. I like him. I don't know. I mean, he's a good coach. But you look at the Steelers and say they've only won like 3 playoff games in the past, 10 years or something, 7 years. I don't like that.
Yeah. He's been there for a while. 14 years. He's 145, 78-1. It's good. I mean, it's hard to get a coach to be there for 14 years. There's not many.
Here's the thing, though, with Tomlin. I kind of get the feeling of Penguins ex-coach Dan Bylsma. Bylsma came in his first year and won a Stanley Cup. And he had some very good teams. But after that, he always underperformed in the playoffs. They made the playoffs every year, but it was first-round exit, second-round exit. The only year they came closer than that was in 2013 when they got blanked by the Bruins in the conference finals. And he was gone a year later. I get that same vibe from Tomlin. He came in. He won a Super Bowl early. He's been good. They make the playoffs pretty consistently, but it's one and done usually. So is he on that Bylsma coasting on that early trophy?
No. They made another Super Bowl. They lost to the Packers.
They did lose.
Unfortunately,
the Packers.
A lot of those times they ran into the Patriots, who nobody was beating.
Yeah.
Definitely nobody in the AFC. They've been to like every Super Bowl. I don't know.
Unfortunately for Tomlin, I guess he's coaching through the Patriots dynasty era.
Yeah. He's only 49. I mean, I think having that consistency and having the longevity of having a coach there for as long as he's been there is worth more than taking a chance on who knows, because there's not many coaches that are better. And
that's the thing. And I think a lot of times people get angry or fans and say, fire the coach. But you got to think, who's coming in that's better than what you have?
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, the team, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess the coordinators are the first to go when they want to change.
And he's been through some coordinators. We've shuffled through some offensive coordinators in the last few years.
They have.
So
We'll see what happens. I don't think he's on the hot seat. So I'm good with it. 2024.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I'm 50. I don't know. I don't hate it. I like Tomlin. I just don't know if I don't know. We'll see what happens this year. Expectations are there.
Yeah. I mean, Roethlisberger showed his support for him.
He did.
I think a lot of the players are a fan of his.
Players definitely like him. He's a player's coach, which we've talked about, which I don't like, but I feel like in recent years he's got away from that a little bit.
I think he's kind of gone away from that because I think he's seen a lot of the criticism.
Yeah.
And he's kind of trying to be more
criticism and the problems that brought with your players acting out, I think.
It did. And it got out of control with the whole AB situation.
Yeah.
I think that was a turning point where he realized,
Definitely, because it feels like that's when he kind of started changing his style after the AB thing blew up.
He didn't respect them. So I think that changed. So it's for the better. I don't see he's getting better.
Yeah. He has been better the past few years. I'll say my Tomlin meter is growing in favor of him. I feel like he's been more strategic in the past few years. I like that he's getting away from the whole buddy thing with all his players. I think he's headed in the right direction. Like you said, he's still young, and there's no one better out there. So we'll move forward and see what happens. But eventually it's got to lead to production, and you got to see more from one and done. Patriot dynasty is gone. The division's wide open. You got teams that are obviously better than the Steelers, but it's not like before where you had the Patriots gatekeeping the top.
Kansas City's starting to get into that role.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not. We don't have to play them. They're not in our division. We'll see. Conference game, I'm fine with, but you got to get out of that wild card. You got to get out of the first round of the playoffs. You can't be one and done every season.
He's got 4 seasons. In these 4 seasons, he's got to do something.
Yeah,
they got to get past. They've been past the divisional round once since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
You got to at least get to a conference championship in these 4 years.
That game we beat the Bengals, right?
I think so. Right? Yeah, and then they lost to New England.
Yep.
And so you got to make it at least to a conference championship in these 4 years. If you don't see that, I think you move on.
Yeah. Interesting thought.
Well,
but Draft Thursday again, live on Instagram. Come join Harry and me for our draft party. So because of that, we're going to do a little mock draft. I guess our predictions. We're not going to go through the whole draft, but we'll go through 3 rounds and tell you who we think the Steelers have a probability of picking, or maybe who we'd like them to pick. I'll go first. So my first round, we've talked about it every single show over the past 4 weeks. Najee Harris, running back, first round. I think the Steelers will target him. I think if he's there, there's no chance they don't take him. Second round, we talked about him a couple shows ago. I don't know if he'll fall to the Steelers, but I really like Landon Dickerson, offensive lineman. I think the Steelers were looking at him. I think it could be a good pick. He could possibly go in the first round, though. So I don't know if he's going to fall to the Steelers in the second round. But I would like to see that. Third round, I got Ellerson Smith, edge. And Steelers got 2 third-round picks. For my second, third round, I got Walker Little, offensive tackle. I think with those picks, you get your running back, you shore up the line a little bit, and then you're looking pretty good for the start of the season. What you think?
I agree. I think Najee Harris is the consensus pick. Everybody feels like he's going to go to the Steelers. I still think there's a possibility of somebody falling. Maybe you can get a good QB, and I would still take that over Najee Harris.
People still think Justin Fields, for some reason, will drop to him.
I've seen it in the past. I mean, we saw Aaron Rodgers. He dropped till later in the first round, and I've seen other QBs drop.
There's usually
People
one
put up,
QB that falls that people think are going to go high.
yeah, people put out bad publicity, and then these guys drop.
Yeah. That's another thing too. So if he drops, a couple spots, if he falls to 15, is there a possibility at that point the Steelers trade up to make sure they get him? I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like they're all in on Najee Harris, unless for some reason Justin Fields collapses into their lap at 24, and then I don't know.
I can't imagine them trading up. I think they would trade down before they trade up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd take more picks. I think they're going to take Najee Harris, and then I think they're going to go defense for the next 3 rounds.
Definitely.
I think they're going to get some linebackers. They're going to replace the get some DBs, and I think that's what's going to happen.
It'll be successful. I'll be happy if they do that.
Yeah, we'll see. They got a lot of spots to fill.
Best case scenario, I mean, you need some line. People have been talking about that all week. People have been arguing on Twitter about, do you go running back? Do you go line? You need the line. Justin Fields falls to you at 24. Does Najee Harris fall to you in the second round? I don't know if he gets knocked down that far.
I doubt it. But there might be other backs.
Travis falls to you in the second round.
ETN, he could.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
We'll find out very soon. 4 days away. 5 days away. 4 days
it depends.
Away.
I mean, teams trade up. People get taken. It's when you get later in the round, there's more uncertainty, more possibility for change. So let's see who's there. I think Najee Harris is
4 days.
Most likely.
Instagram Live.
Yeah.
H&J Talk Sports.
Join us.
Najee Harris is very likely. That's my 100. That's my 95% pick. I think they're going with him.
Yeah, it's a good chance.
I think so. Pittsburgh Penguins went 4-0 this week. I don't think anyone called that.
I wonder who would have said that.
Let's go to the clip. I think you said 4-0.
I did.
I
think you said no way.
I said no way. I said, do you ever want to be right? You were right. Who would have thunk it?
Who's a true fan and who's not?
The Penguins have played some really good hockey this week. They played really good. Other than a terrifying third-round collapse against New Jersey, their first game against New Jersey.
Start the week off, right?
They've been shut down. It's been really good.
They did good. It's a good week. They're peaking at the right time.
They are, and I hope they can carry into the playoffs.
Great.
I hope Malkin comes back. He's doesn't start slow, and he's ready to peak too. But yeah, you were right. Other than that New Jersey game, they've been dominant. They put 7-6, 5-1 against New Jersey, 4-2 on Saturday, and then they played a tough game, 1-0 against Boston. They got the shutout on Sunday. Playoff style game, low scoring, tight checking, perfect defensive game. And Crosby goes to Gensel to get the game winner.
They looked fresh.
They did look fresh all week, even today against Boston in back-to-back games. Boston should have been the fresher team, but Pittsburgh looked on it.
It was a good homestand for sure.
It was. That's what you like seeing. And now Pittsburgh is in first place.
But nice, tough schedule coming up.
They do got a tough schedule. We've got Boston again. I'm sure we'll see another game like we saw today. Tight checking, low scoring. And then you got Washington twice. And that Washington series could decide the seeding for the playoffs.
Those are big games.
Those are the big games. Yeah, the last big
game left. It's very close right now.
Yeah. Very close. Before we look at that, let's get into all the NHL records that the Penguins set this week because they set in some doozies. First one, not so good. Because of that New Jersey game and that third period collapse, they became the first team in NHL history to win a game after getting scored 5 goals against in the third period.
Wow.
No team has ever done that before. 5 goals scored on him in the third, and they still won the game.
Way to finish.
Huh? Yeah, what a way to
finish.
Crosby set a record this week with getting his 55th point. He's now guaranteed to get a point per game this season, no matter what happens. And he is the only first player since Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe to have 16 point per game seasons. And he's the only player other than Wayne Gretzky to have 16 point per game seasons in a row. That's impressive. In NHL history, only 2 players have started their careers with 16 point per game seasons, Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby.
Crosby's an animal. He still got it.
All hail the king. He still got it. He starts slow sometimes, and every year people criticize him, and then he picks it up halfway through the year, and he gets over a point per game.
Season's so long. When you get older, it's better to just, kind of build.
It is. It makes more sense. Also, the Penguins are the top scoring team in the NHL right now, and then the only team with 3 players who have over 20 goals.
Keep it
This
up.
is a dangerous team, and they're missing Evgeny Malkin, who's been out almost half the season. Who's the second best player on this team?
Keep it up. 2 weeks away.
Scary team. It's almost too good. Whenever you feel this confident going in the playoffs, it makes me nervous. I almost like being the underdog more.
No, I'd rather be hitting the stride at the end of the season like this.
It is. It's perfect timing.
It's
this
the absolute best time.
2013, they had a team similar to this. They were one of the best teams. I never felt that good going into the playoffs. They killed the first 2 rounds. And then in the third round conference finals, Boston swept them in 4 games, and they scored like 2 goals in the whole series. Yeah. And I've been scarred against Boston ever since. And that's why I don't want Boston in the first round now, because of 2013.
They're looking good. They're winning series. Series after series. The last series they lost was a series against New Jersey in the middle of March.
Mm-hmm. And ever since then, they've turned it around. That was really the turning point.
They've been winning. They had a 5-game winning streak at the end of March.
Mm-hmm. I think they're 5 games after their win today. They're on a 5-game.
4 right now.
Is it 4 with the win today?
Yeah, they lost to Buffalo on Sunday.
No, that's right. They did lose to Buffalo.
And they won out this week. But, hey, it's good.
Well, we hinted it last week, and now it's the time. The first annual Joey Awards, where I hand out my awards for Penguins players for the season.
All right. The Joeys.
I'm going to do this halfway through the season and at the end of the season. But this year's just once. So, my first annual Joeys. Who gets the trophy? That's mine, by the way. I think it says Joey on it. So
I see. The production value is going to improve in the future. Don't worry.
What's wrong with this?
We'll get better awards. What is that guy?
It's a hockey player.
Champions?
Yeah.
What does it say at the bottom?
It says Squirt House League 97 Ponderosa. Champions.
Okay.
House League champs, baby. 98. First annual Joey's. My first award goes to my most improved player from last season. And for that, I'm giving to Jared McCann. Because he was really good when he got to Pittsburgh, and then he was really bad. And people were calling for him to be traded in the offseason. He was really bad to start, but man, has he been one of the best players since March, since he came back from that brief injury. He's been lights out. He scores almost everything he shoots. And boy, going into the playoffs, him scoring on the third line, that's going to win you a Stanley Cup if they can keep that up. So most improved from last season, Jared McCann. My most surprising this season, Cody Ceci. Stunk in Ottawa. He stunk in Toronto. When he came here, Toronto was laughing at us. I gave him and Matheson props last episode. He's been lights out. Surprisingly good. Awesome. Shut down. If we win a cup, that's another reason. That second pairing of CC and Matheson. The most underrated Penguin that no one else in the NHL talks about, Brian Rust. His second 20-goal season. He's been on pace for 20 before because of injury and COVID. He didn't get there. I think he scored 27 one season. He was on his way to 30. This guy is really good. And Sidney Crosby is playing with 230 goal. He's never made 30, but he's been on pace for it a couple times. So Crosby's got a pair of 30 goal scoring wingers. And you like to see that. This is the best wingers. I hate to say it because of the Kunitz and Dupuis area, but these are the best wingers Crosby's played with. And this might be the best top line in the NHL. My biggest letdown this year, everybody can guess it. Let's all say it at the same time. Jankowski. Can't wait for Malkin to get back so he's out of the lineup. He's been no good.
You get an award for being the biggest letdown?
Huh? You
get an award for being the biggest letdown?
Yes. It's a participation trophy. Sorry, Jankowski.
Gotcha.
Next, most excited Penguin in the future, P.O. Joseph. We saw him briefly this year. He was really good. I think it was the right move to send him down, let him develop more. But boy, if you can get him up next year, him and John Marino, that's a very good young defensive pairing. And I think he's got more of an offensive upside than John Marino. So very exciting. P.O. Joseph, excited for the future. And my team MVP this year, Sidney Crosby. He wins it every year. 55 points per game. He's been clutch. I think he missed one game maybe this year because of COVID protocol, precautionary. 20 goals. What can you say? He's been there. The top line's lights out. So that is my first annual Joey's on the trophy Harry apparently thinks isn't good enough.
Yeah.
That's a real trophy, you know.
Yeah. Don't wait up for the trophies.
Wow. Last time I bring something personal into this show because this is in a safe environment.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyways.
Sorry.
Looking ahead, next week for the Penguins. They got Boston on Tuesday, Washington on Thursday, Washington on Saturday. So we have 3 games before our next show. Boston, Washington, Washington. Harry, since you're the hot shot, I'm going to let you go first this week. What you got?
All right. Being the show expert, I'm going to pick, let's see, at Boston, at home. The win streak's good. I played tough today. I think they're going to win that game against Boston, get the win streak to 5. And then I think they're going to split with Washington. This is a tough week to go 3-0. And I think after these 2 tough games with Boston, to go play at Washington on a day's rest, yeah. So, 2-1. I don't feel as good about it. I think it could easily be 1-2, but
that's what I'm thinking. Because I feel the same way about the Washington series. I think that gets split. And as tough as the Boston game was today, and I think Boston is a good team, it's going to be hard to beat them again on Tuesday. That's the tough one. But I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to say 2-1.
You're going to say 2-1? We're both at 2-1?
I'm going to stay positive. Since the Penguins have been so good lately, I'm going to side with them. Even though I think it's going to be tough to beat Boston 2 games in a row, but we're 2-1. Pittsburgh 2-1 this week, split the series with Washington.
It's a tough week.
It is a tough week. Maybe they can get lucky and take 1 to overtime with Washington, get a point. We'll see.
Keep it up, keep building. Playoffs are coming. You got 1 week after this. You got a series with Philly next week and a series with Buffalo. So, I mean, you could go into the playoffs pretty well rested because that Buffalo isn't too intimidating.
I don't know.
We split with them last time.
It kind of scares me because when you get a team like that knows they're not going into the playoffs, it's going to be their last game for the year. They kind of got nothing to lose, especially against Philly. I was worried about losing players to injury in those meaningless games for other teams.
Well, see what happens with this Washington series. If you get swept this Washington series, you're probably out of the race for first, and you rest players.
Yeah.
If you win the series, if you win it, you split it, then you got to play, and then you can stay hot. It's a win-win. I mean, do you value being a little more rested, or do you want to keep the momentum going?
I always worry about getting rested because of momentum. I feel like when you rest players, I worry, they get a week off and then they come back and you kind of lose that momentum that you had.
And I think losing momentum is a very real thing.
I think so too. So I'm never big on resting players, but I do worry about losing someone to injury in a meaningless game against Philly.
I think if you're out of the race for first, if you're going for second or third, you rest them.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the fourth seed, second or third. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Come in hot.
Come in hot. That's our take on the Penguins. So, what do we say? 2-1? 2-1.
2-1.
All right. Positivity. More coaches getting contract extensions. Neil Brown through the 2026 season. Boy, how do you feel about that one?
I don't understand it.
I don't either. That's very premature.
I think a lot of people like it. They say he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, have our expectations been dropping?
And that's one thing we talked about in one of our first episodes was this is kind of his make or break year. So I don't see why you don't wait till postseason to take a look at things and see how he did this season to see if you still feel like it's the right direction. This seems very premature to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against him, but I don't think the jury's still out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Did they improve from the first year? Yeah, but they haven't exceeded expectations in either year.
No, they haven't made any moves to make it look like they're going to.
Yeah, they were more competitive.
Yeah.
But the guy he's 11-11 in 2 seasons. And you're going to give this guy an extension?
Yeah, it seemed I'm going to make my top 5 premature jokes right now, by the way. Yeah, it seemed very early. I would have waited till after the season, at least get a look at how things go. I don't know why they I feel like they jumped the gun on this. They must really trust him. So there must be something going on behind the scenes. They feel the direction is headed good. As fans, we haven't seen it yet. So I'm not really sure what this was. I mean, you can still fire him. So it's not like, but you tied up some salary.
I mean, if he goes 5-7 this year, everybody's going to be calling for his head.
Yeah, and it's very possible with the moves they've made and with the transfers that they do take a step back.
These next 2 seasons are going to be decisive for him because it's going to be his players. He's had time to build.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped the gun a little bit for me personally, but let's see. I would have waited.
Yeah, didn't make sense. I mean, looking at the roster now, there's no reason to believe they're better than last season. So I don't know. But
I mean, maybe they were a little nervous about teams looking for coaches and him possibly leaving, so they're trying to secure him.
That could be it. Security, so no one snatches him.
In that case, I could see he was at Troy for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The competition's different here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm not saying he turned that program around, but it's a vastly different arena you're in now.
Yeah.
In Big 12 football. Gold and blue game this weekend. Harry, any thoughts on that?
I mean, what can you really tell from a gold and blue game?
That's what I was thinking. What can you tell? Not much.
No, I mean,
it's hard to tell. It really is. It's hard to look at a scrimmage and get a good handle on what your team looks like.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Jarrett Day looked good. Brown, he looked looked all right, but
Yeah.
it's hard to see. I
They look
think,
good. He was zipping some passes.
yeah, I think
Defense looked pretty
he's the
good.
guy. He's
hmm
definitely going to be first in line to carry the team.
People were saying Garrett Green looked fast. I guess he looked fast, but he didn't look very good to me. He is young, so
Yeah, he was okay. He's definitely got room to grow.
people were getting very hyped for him for some reason after that game. I didn't see it, guys, so let me know in the comments if you're hyped for Garrett Green. I guess he was fast. He did show some speed, but
8 for 16, 103 yards, and an interception.
not horrible. It's a scrimmage.
We'll see.
One thing that did stand out to me is the running backs. Running backs look good, especially Avarius Sparrow. I don't even remember him playing last year. I think he got a couple yards, couple runs last year. He looked really good. He looked fast. So all the running backs look good. That did stand out. Which was your strength last year, anyways.
Yeah.
Along with the defense.
We haven't had good quarterback play.
Nope.
I still don't.
Haven't wide receivers that can catch a ball. We've had solid Letty Brown's solid.
I think receiver is a weak point.
Yeah.
You got Sam Brown. I don't know. That's going to be a problem. I feel like we don't have established guys, go-to guys. We'll see. I don't know. I didn't see anything that makes me super optimistic about next year. I still feel the same.
No, in fact, people were making fun of because McBride came out and threw in the QB competition.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that.
Apparently, he won the QB competition. So,
when you play quarterback in high school,
basketball, it's not a good sign for your football team.
He's a good athlete. He was a QB in high school, and he chose basketball. He came here.
You still shouldn't be coming and winning the competition. Not what you want to see.
No.
Unless he wants to come play QB.
Hey, might as well.
Might as well. But yeah, I don't know. More in a couple weeks. Yeah. 3-year extension and then the gold and blue game. And I'm pessimistic. Once it gets closer, we'll do an over-under on West Virginia too. And I'm guessing it won't be as good as the Steelers over-under.
Tough schedule. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. The games are early. The big games are early. So we'll have a good idea. They don't have a lot of time to grow and get ready.
No, right into the fire. By the way, speaking of over-under, thanks for everyone that participated in the Instagram poll, H&J Talk Sports on Instagram, of our over-under of the Steelers. Majority of you, I think it ended up at like 73% picked over 9 games. That's what I think too. Harry's more pessimistic, which is unusual. He thinks dead on 9 games, I guess. So we'll see. But thanks for doing that. We'll do it over under on West Virginia when it gets closer to the season. Maybe the most exciting part of the show today is that UFC 261 recap. Holy hell, was that a fight?
It was a good card.
It was a good card. No match made it out of the second round. But that was probably the most exciting, quick UFC card I've seen. Because even though it was fast, every match was exciting.
Old people like Joe, it was good. It ended early.
Bed before 1:30. I loved it. 12:30 in bed.
Yeah, it had devastating KOs, bad injuries, everything.
Gross ass injuries.
It was a good card. I enjoyed it very much.
We'll look at these. Let's run through our picks first. Anthony Smith won the first round. We both picked Jimmy Crute. That was kind of a weird one. I think they could have let that go. We'll look at that in a second. We split the next one. I won. I picked Uriah Hall. Again, tough luck for you on that one. More tough luck for Chris Weidman, but we both picked Shevchenko. We both picked Whaley. Wow, did she lose? And Usman. We both picked Usman. But goddamn, that was a knockout. So let's go through these real quick. Light heavyweight. Jimmy Crute, tough loss. He looked like he probably got a nerve and lost feeling in his leg.
Yeah, this was one of those weird. He hit the right spot, and his leg just went dead. He just.
The bad thing, I feel like if they would have gave it a few more minutes, looked like the feeling was probably coming back. I think he could have, because those nerve. I mean, it goes dead, and then it comes back.
He did good.
Right before they called it, he was starting to walk a little better.
When his leg went dead, and he was kind of like on his knees, he was taking the guy down. He was staying on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, he was actually doing better after that happened, because I think
the truth is that probably wasn't sustainable. I don't know how long the effects of the leg are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how bad that nerve got hit, but he was taking some punches anyways. He wasn't looking good until his leg got hit, and then he started playing more aggressive. So he might have still lost. Who knows what would have happened? I think I lost Harry. Harry, did we lose you? Okay, it's working. I think. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Technical difficulties, but we're back. We're in the middle of recapping UFC 261. Next fight of the night, probably the most, I don't know, shocking. How would you describe it? First kick of the night, Chris Weidman snaps his foot and his leg in half on Uriah Hall.
Yeah, it was strange. It was fast.
Very fast.
It was nasty.
Pretty freaking gross.
It was weird because I remember Silva doing that against him.
The irony in that.
And yeah, it's just a freak thing. It just hit the wrong place, checked it, and just snapped. And the worst part was when he tried to stand back on it and it folded.
The worst part is when he fell to the ground and that thing just like flopped back and forth.
It's hard to watch.
And then Joe Rogan's like, "Oh, that was disgusting. Here, let's watch it 3 more times." That was pretty gross. And now everyone's posting it on Twitter, so every time I scroll through, I get to keep seeing it again. So it's awesome. Pretty gross. Hopefully
we didn't learn anything.
Huh?
We didn't learn anything. That pick has an asterisk on it. I think.
What pick? Oh, that pick, yeah. Nah, it doesn't. That's a for me. That's my win. So hopefully he can come back. He's 36 though. I don't know how you come back from having your leg completely snapped in half.
I mean, it's worse when it's ligaments and stuff.
And that looked like nothing was connected.
It's an ankle. When it's a bone like that, I've heard that it's easier to heal. I mean, it looks nasty.
Though, you're almost 40.
I mean, he's probably done. He's older.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
I don't think you want to even do that. And once it breaks, I feel like once you break that stuff, it's easier to do again. And
yeah, I mean, that's why Silva never looked the same after that fight.
You're always going to have that thought in the back of your mind about when it happened.
Watching those kicks. Gross, though. Uriah Hall pulls it off. A win for Joe. Valentina Shevchenko. Easy money.
Yeah.
She's just dominant. What shocked me about the fight is when you look at Andrade, she looks like she's on steroids. Like she's ripped and she slams people. Shevchenko was considerably stronger than her. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah. I think there was one moment she had Shevchenko up against the cage and she tried to pick her up and slam her and she couldn't get her off the ground. And I think that's when she was like, oh shit,
and Shevchenko flexed on her too. As soon as that happened, she slammed her back. She was showing her the dominance.
Every single part of the fight, there was nowhere where Shevchenko wasn't the more dominant fighter.
No. Put
him in the crucifix and finished it. As soon as I saw her starting that and trying to pin her arm, I was like, it's over.
Nice little brutal elbows there too.
It's about to get ugly.
And I like at the post-fight interview when Joe said, "Who's next?" Because there's no one left to fight her. She says, "I don't know. I fight anybody." So
Nunes. They were saying Whaley, but we know Whaley lost, so that's not happening.
I don't think. Yeah. Well, let's go into that fight then, because Valentina is just too dominant. Wow, Whaley got blasted in the face.
Yeah,
That was shocking.
it was surprising. But Namajunas, she's got long. She strikes from distance. She's long legs, and she hit it right on the chin.
She's weird though, and I was texting you about this after the fight. She doesn't give the vibe to me as a good fighter because she doesn't seem like she has any confidence in herself. She's kind of got a weird, I don't want to use the word swag. I hate that word because it's like a kid's word. A weird aura about her. She's like, I don't know. She doesn't feel like she should be a very good fighter. But she came back and she beat Andrada. She was the champ. She knocked this Whaley out. Like that kick was
Yeah, it was a good kick. Landed flush.
really good kick. I think we'll see pretty quickly Whaley and Rose Part 2. I know Whaley wants
Could be.
to do that.
I don't see why not.
Mm-mm. So we'll see if Rose can defend her title a little bit this time.
Yeah.
Confidence. She said, I'm the best, but I don't know if she believes it. I don't believe she believes it.
I think Whaley could beat her. Whaley needs to respect her striking a little more.
Yeah, maybe Whaley was a little bit too overconfident.
But
And then the clip I could watch over and over again a million times, and I think I have between last night, is Usman knocking George Masvidal the out.
you got him.
Dang, that was beautiful.
You hit him on the dead on. The water flying all over it, sweat flying all over it.
Commercial. Oh, when I saw that go, oh, I lost it.
He came in there. He threw it with everything he had, and he put him down. That's first time the Masvidal's been knocked out. That was.
And what makes that so beautiful is all the talk about Usman being soft, having soft hands. He can't punch. All the talk about, it was only a couple days before 6 days. If anyone takes a fight with 6 days of me, they get knocked out. He had a full training camp. And what makes it even more beautiful is right before that happened, he was being cocky. He got punched. He was smiling in his face. Oh, was that knockout terrific. He dropped Harry.
I think he made a point to stand up with him and beat him standing up.
Mm-hmm.
He did it. I mean, he's improved. They switched coaches before the last fight, before he fought Burns, and he's gotten better. Him and Covington were a good fight, but I think he's improved a lot since then, and I don't think it would be as good this time around.
Nope, Covington thinks it is. Covington thinks he's going to win, of course, but I think he's trash. So.
That's the fight I want to see.
I think that's the next fight. I think Dana already said it, so that's what we're going to see.
I think the only real contender that could possibly come is Khamzat Chimaev, but he's still got to beat somebody in the top 10. He could be.
Did I read something? I think I read something that said Conor wants him.
Conor will get murked.
Conor needs to win a fight first, I think.
Conor's not on that level. He's too small and he's not good enough. He won't. No. I don't see it.
Interesting point, though. Is Masvidal really that good? Did he hype us up with his personality?
Masvidal's good. He's not as good as people had started to build him up. But
yeah, he threw that knee, and that changed his image. That knee against, I think it was Cowboy, right?
He knocked out Askren. He knocked out Till, and he knocked out Askren.
That flying knee, and then he kind of changed his whole persona as a fighter. He started talking trash more. He kind of embraced the Conor thing, and people kind of overrated him. He beat Nate Diaz, an aging Nate Diaz who didn't look like Nate Diaz. And I think people hyped him up a lot.
There was a lot of hype, but he has looked a lot better since then. I definitely think he focused on different things. His wrestling, his takedown defense was a lot better. He was able to get off the mat this time, which he wasn't able to do last time.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a lot better. He just got caught. He got beaten straight. I mean, Usman's better. Usman worked on striking, and Usman hit him a lot more than Masvidal hit Usman.
Usman's a lot better.
He was hitting him with the jab. He was connecting. So.
Yeah. Good card, though. I had a blast, and I was in bed by 1:00, so win-win. Before we go, because this show's running long, we got 2 fan questions this week. One from Nick Squires. Our man Nick Squires has asked this question before. Do you guys think the Pens will stay at the top of the division? And he says, I got a feeling they will. Nick, I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do the Penguins want to stay at the top of the division? Because I don't want to play Boston in the first round. Now, if the Rangers take Boston, if they catch them, I don't think they will, then I hope so. But do I think they'll stay at the top of the division? No. I think we'll know. I think we'll know at the end of this Capitals series. Whoever wins this Capitals series will probably win the division. If Pittsburgh can somehow squeeze out 2 wins, or maybe even 3 points. I don't think they win the division, though. I think they probably end up second.
I think second's probably more.
Yeah. Probably second.
I would like to see first. I would like to see them play Boston in the first round.
Just to make me sweat.
But yeah, I don't see. I think next week will be tough. Too tough.
Everyone else has a much easier last week than Pittsburgh does. Pittsburgh plays Washington. Pittsburgh plays
Philly.
Flyers. They play Buffalo, who sucks, but out of the playoffs in last games, they might win those. Caps, Boston, and the Isles all have a very easy end of season schedule. So I don't know. I think second. Now from Owen Rabley on Instagram, Owen, OWYN_RABLEY. Go follow him on Instagram. He asked, do you think the Steelers will draft Najee Harris? We've talked about it for 5 weeks. Yes, I do think they will. I think they want to. And if he's there, they 100% will draft him.
I agree. I think he's the one. That's where they're going to go.
Yep.
Najee Harris.
I think the big question is, will he be there at 24? But if he is, that's their guy. Convinced.
I think he will be.
Yep. That's our show for today. That felt long. I don't know how long it was, but thank you guys for watching. As always, you should subscribe, subscribe, comment. Go follow us on Instagram, H&J Talk Sports. Thursday, our draft party. Come party with us and watch the first round of the NFL draft and see if the Steelers take Najee Harris or any surprises that happen. We'll be partying all night Thursday, 8 o'clock. Instagram Live, H&J Talk Sports. Go follow us. Harry, see you next time. Tired, man.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday. Peace, everybody.